Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 30th episode of Noobs to Pros. I'm AJ, and today we'll be looking at two different games that I had in my two scouts. They're not that I had them in 9.1, so some of the maps might actually look different, and some of the things might be slightly different. So here I'm playing the EZ131, which is an amazing scout on mines. I make it towards the middle of the map because that's what you're supposed to be doing. I don't want to go ham on the T71 because T71 can easily just put me out, and I really didn't want to. I see this MX-50B just charging up the hill. I see that he has no backup, so you know, I pump shots after shots into him and eventually take him out. And then I go around and, you know, give the T71 some good news. Before I can land a second shot, he gets taken out. So this game was really fast and furious. I did not play as a scout in this. I more so played like a fast light attack tank. But your hit points are very small in scouts, and in general you should not be trading shots with people. You should only take safe shots where you know you can shoot at something and get away with it. For those of you who are playing scouts and don't have good win rates and things, don't play scouts. Scouts are one of the hardest tanks to play, even more so than medium tanks. And so just I think you should play more medium tanks, and that will get you a flavor of how to play scouts. Over here I was trying to spot something within their base. I don't. So over here I'm trying to get my gun depression down and see if I can fire through this bush without getting spotted at the tortoise. Unfortunately for me, the gun really doesn't, gun depression doesn't really cooperate, and so I'm trying to get all the way over here to try to take a shot at the tortoise, but all of a sudden, you know, the M40 gets spotted. I fired and I bounced apparently from the M40, which, yeah, that's understandable. Now at this point I should not have hung around here slightly more than I did. I was lucky I didn't get shot and nobody was looking up here. But, you know, the one other thing that you have to keep in mind is not to poke in the same spot again. Now over here I use this ridge to sort of like give myself some gun depression, and I fire at this M46. I was pretty sure I was spotted because the bush in front of me wasn't actually bush wasn't actually concealed all the way. Here I'm probably making a mistake again, because you have to realize, like, once you get spotted, it takes a little bit for your spotting to sort of like go away. So you know, if you're spotted, you should not immediately just like come out of the same bush and try firing at something else. And in scouts, and more so than any other tank, you should always be changing positions. Do not poke in the same spot again, because chances are somebody will probably be looking in the same direction. Probably, you know, put another shot into you. Here I take a sneaky shot at the M46, who, you know, loses a lot of life because apparently a lot of people were looking in the same direction. But, you know, I know now that the M46 is probably much more wise to my shenanigans and probably looking in this direction. Here I loaded gold round and finished off the M103, was on low health. I'm trying to figure out where this T57 is going, and for a second I kind of like thought that maybe I should go, you know, and kill him. But, you know, on the flip side, you know, there's a yak that's steering in my direction. I'm a one shot for him. I didn't really want to do it. This, by the way, was my ace tanker badge, purely because I was attacking most of the things that were like 2 tiers above me, so the experience multiplier was pretty nice. Over here I know that this flank is about to get overwhelmed, so what I was about to do was I was gonna jump down, but then I kind of like see that the AMXs are sitting in a corner steering this direction, so I'm not so keen on doing so anymore. I wouldn't say I played this game flawlessly. I did make some good decisions, but it could have easily gone one way versus the other, such as the nature of World of Tanks. You have to accept RNG in certain respects, and, you know, not let it affect you too much. Here I tried to kill the M46 by sneaking down, but, you know, somebody else beat me to it. Now I'm just racing towards, their cap, trying to spot their last RD. One thing you have to keep in mind is, like, I only use gold rounds when I needed to, and if I was going to pen the M46 front lead, that's why I had the gold round loaded as respective regular. And around this corner I spot the French RD, who, you know, takes a keen interest in me. I know I can put one more shot into him and then, you know, I can get into cover. So, you know, I'm trying to see if you know, if somebody else would kill him, but you know, he really wants me. So what I do is I back off, and I know his third traverse is bad, so I start moving forward again, and he tries to fire and miss. Here I see, you know, the Yak Panzer 100 is low on health, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go past these two AMXs and put one shot in the side of the Yak Panzer E100, and then I'm gonna run away between them again, and you know, that would secure my Orlick medal in the VZ131. So this game I really didn't have much commentary to tell. It was, you know, much more, you can sort of like figure out what I was doing by just watching the replay. I had another game in T71, and this is before, you know, I was playing this tank because I wanted to get the 6 screw up in this thing. And this tank is amazing. It should be played more of as a light attack tank because you have 175 or 170-ish pen, I don't want to say the exact number, and you can do a lot of damage to a tank if it's caught in the open. Now I have excuse me, I have a RD friend on my team, and so I'm gonna go try light things here, see if I can catch somebody early coming down. You know, maybe have somebody else fire on them, or maybe take a shot and back off. You know, fortunately or unfortunately for me, I don't really spot anything. I see that the Comet's making his way up here as well. You know, he doesn't seem like I think he's stock. I don't think he has the top turret, so he's taking a chance there. I don't see anything, so at this point I kind of assumed, you know, I was just wasting my time. Or, you know, maybe they're sitting there trying to camping and waiting for us to sort of like come over the edge. Now, what I'm gonna do is, instead of going like the other way, in which I would get shot in the face, you know, by something that's sitting there, I'm gonna, you know, risk coming over the hill and seeing if I can spot something. You know, I don't have 6 cents in this tank, so this was a huge gamble I took. You know, I don't really spot anything. You know, so I'm guessing if something's sitting in the bush, he's not really in the bush. So my thought process at this point was spot as many things as you can, and we'll figure it out after. I see, you know, that the ISU fired. He takes a lot of return damage as a result, and sort of like is forced to back off. I reload my clip because, you know, I'm just I'm sure there's not that many tanks over here. And, you know, my suspicions are more or less confirmed when I cross the hill and only see the ISU and a couple of tanks behind him. So again, with scouts, one thing you want to keep in mind, if you're scouting, you don't want to poke in the same spot again. I'm set up more as an active scout. That means I've foregone binos for quarter optics. I come up here again, you know, trying to spot something. Since I don't have 6 cents, I back off anyways, because, you know, if something was not spotted and it spotted me, because, you know, there's a couple of bushes back there, then I'm probably gonna lose a large chunk of my health doing this. Now, the other thing that I'm keeping in mind is that if I've only spotted 3 tanks here, the rest of them are probably pushing city. So that means that at the very least, I'm gonna, you know, city is gonna fall, or they're gonna lose a lot of tanks, and we'll see how that turns out. You know, I use the bush to sneakily spot like everything in front of me, but then I back off again. You know, not having 6 cents can be a problem. I decide that it's not worth it to trade a shot with the Super Pershing, because, you know, first of all, if he's turning his turret towards me, it would be a very dodgy shot. And, you know, secondly, you know, even if I do pen, I'm gonna do 150 damage, and he's gonna do 240 damage, and I don't really have the health to spare. You know, I'm constantly spotting, you know, going up and down, you know, trying to get, you know, RD to sort of like shoot things over here. But, you know, the RD was more focused in the city, and because like some of their more well-armored tanks were in there, and we were pretty sure we were going to lose the city relatively easily. So I keep like spotting here, you know, just making sure I'm not like overcommitting. You know, over here I run into the cherry and take some damage. You know, that was my bad. I didn't see him coming. I was more focused on what things were being led and not led. Over here I'd make a you know, a ridge run. You know, I go spot something, use the ridge to spot things, and then I back off. Over here, I was, I'm gonna try and see if I can get a shot up into this super Pershing, but then again, he's in a good spot, and he was held down, so I really didn't have a choice. So I'm just gonna keep doing this, like poking and spotting, and hopefully get the RD to sort of like focus on something else. Now the city has more or less fallen, and tanks out of the city are coming streaming towards the hill. My friend in the RD said you should think about coming back, and I was like, I'm way ahead of you. I'm actually coming back. And this is the one thing you have to remember in scouts is like, especially for your TDs, you are their armor in many respects. Is that if you spot something for them and they shoot it without getting spotted, then these are shots they're not gonna take. And I have no idea how I managed to sort of like, get hit by the tree and not go through it and things. I was honestly not paying attention. Over here, I'm still sort of like conflicted as to whether I should help this flank or not. In hindsight, it was my mistake. I should have just gone back towards the other side. Before I do that, I see the Shiri like advancing in the open, and this is why this tank is so dangerous. I bounced one shot, which kind of surprised me. Missed another, but that's one. That's two. 3 and 4. So he took like roughly 390 damage in very short space, and I reduced his health pool by quite a fair bit. The T-71 has very good penetration to go through sides and rear of people's armor, and that's what the scouts should be looking at. Frontally, you should not be engaging a lot of tanks. It's just not what the scouts are meant to do. Now I kind of like see that the last TD on the hill has fallen. Honestly, I don't know whether making it way up here earlier would have served any purpose, just because like anything coming out of the city is already spotted by the TDs, so it's not like they need my help to spot something. But I guess an extra gun in this situation would have helped. I see one of their tanks making their way up here. I know there's a T-34 back here somewhere, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna come back here, put one shot into him, finish him off. At this point, I thought the other tank probably was starting to make his way back towards the cap, which sort of like confirmed my suspicion. Over here, I'm gonna crest this hill right here. I know Tortoise is the more dangerous of the two tanks at this moment. I'm gonna put 2 shots into him, and then I'm gonna take him off. I put 2 shots into the other guy. I don't want to fire the last shot. He turns to take a shot at me and gets destroyed by my friend in the RD. At this point, I'm reloading and trying to make my way back towards the other flank, which fell as well. I didn't really think we were gonna carry this game through. I thought it'll be a loss. ISA makes a very stupid decision about like trying to come from the center back into over here, because I mean, if he's spotted, he's in a very bad position. He probably can't do anything. The terrain resistance in the lake is pretty high, so if you are there, you get slowed down a lot more. And Chidora and the RD, shouts out to him, takes full advantage of that and knocks him out. Now I'm trying to head back towards the other side. I'm still sort of like conflicted. I want to go like maybe kill their Hardy first, and then make the game a bit more lopsided. But at this point, like, I sort of like decide I can't risk like them moving up here. I tell the Chewy to go to that ledge and sort of like spot things from the city, and I'll try my best to go towards the other side and spot things as they come along. That's being the right decision to make in this, given the situation. So I come over here. I'm expecting them to sort of like be pushing the other side, but to my surprise, that the T-28 is pushing actually this side. I try to see if I can get a sneaky shot onto him, but at the same time, you know, I don't really have much of a shot on him. You know, he takes 2 big hits, you know, from the one from the RD, both of the RDs, and you know, he gets taken out rather quickly. Over here, you know, the super Pershing that I was tangling with earlier makes a return. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the left. You know, I take that shot needlessly, but then again, like, I mean, he probably just snapshot me. I don't know whether I could have avoided it in any respect. So I go all the way to the back of this area right here. Try to pick a bush in which I can spot him through coming here. Coming up here. So you know, I pick a spot here behind the bush. You know, I'm actually double bushed, which kind of like indicates to me that I wasn't the one who was actually spawning. You know, I fire 1 shot, you know, 2, second one missed. I fired 3 speculatively, you know, and the RD finishes him off, you know, in spectacular fashion. Now there's only 2 RD left. You know, I tell the Chiri to go the other way, you know, because you know, I'm gonna try and find where the RD is. And you know, at first I thought, you know, I would go in that direction, but then again, I kind of like realized that, you know, both of us don't have to drive in the same direction. What I'll do is I'll go the other way. And in hindsight, I think this was a wrong decision to take, though it, you know, sort of didn't backfire at us, because like, if the Chiri gets disturbed and he actually dies, then I have to be the one to find RD, and if they get lucky twice, then both of us are dead, and it's an RD versus RD duel. So, you know, at this point, you know, I'm trying to figure out where the RD would be. You know, I'm trying to, you know, go down this flank, and the Chiri is gonna try to make his way down the other flank, and both of us are gonna pinch the RD in their base, which I thought they would either be there or either be on that ledge that I just spotted. You know, true enough, I see the 212A running for his life as soon as he gets spotted. You know, I fired 1, you know, it connects. You know, fired 2, it misses, and 3 connects. Before I can fire my last shot, he backs off, and you know, Shadora makes a, I think Shadora was the one, no, the other already takes the shot and finishes him off. So hopefully you enjoyed you know, these games. Hopefully I showed you how to scout in, you know, light tanks, and you know, feel free to subscribe and leave a comment if you like, and hopefully I'll see you on the next episode of Noobs to Pros.